Good day to you wonderful people. This is my current Baron Rivendare deck, which I've been using in PvE, but also in PvP, where Baron is currently extremely popular and extremely strong leader to use. So I'm going to be showing you a battle to show you the deck in action, and then I'm going to go through the units and the talents one by one. Alrighty, here we go, and we got another Baron. Yeah, it's a mirror match. It goes to show how popular he is. I'm going to take that chest before... Oh, I was meant to play the Pixelen party over there to counter that Baron, but... Okay, that works. I'm gonna play Blizzard to counter the Necromancer. I would love to get my hands on those gold veins. We should be able to do that. Ghoul is a really nice tank for a 2-cost minion, especially with the talent, makes him really tanky. My enemy currently doesn't have the talent for Chill of the Grave, for Baron, so that just gives me a definite advantage in this battle. But even if they had, this would still be a nice mirror match to do. This is probably gonna be my victory over here right now. I don't think he has anything he can play right now to counter. I'm just gonna do a Blizzard to take care of that Necromancer, and this combination should be able to take down this enemy tower quite easily. There we go. Fast victory. More easy than usually this time, but yeah, that's just how good Baron is. He generates so much value in his push, especially with the talent of the Chill of the Grave. So let's go take a look at the build and the units and the talents in general. So you already saw the deck layout before we start the battle, but here is the build again, and we are using, of course, the leader Baron Rivendare with the talent Chill of the Grave. Now, Chill of the Grave is by far the best talent you can get from out of these three. Skeleton Frenzy could be useful as well with the Bloodlust for skeletons, but the Chill of the Grave, Skeleton Mages, which will deal slow down enemy attack speed and movement speed on hit, that's just so huge passive boost, and you don't even have to play Baron to gain that effect. So that's just hands down the best one you can get for Baron. And I really do like the Ghoul. Like I said, 2 gold minion, he's a tanky minion. And especially once you get the Bone Shield, which I think is the best talent for Ghoul, he will get armor for 10 seconds after he cannibalizes an enemy, and also he's healing while he's eating the enemy corpses. And that just makes him so much more tanky, so much more able to take down hits and allowing, like, buying you time, but also winning fights on his own, but also like buying you time to give your backline attackers time to deal a lot of damage, give your Skeleton Mages time to deal a lot of damage, give your Plague Farmer to deal a lot of damage from the backlines as well. Now, I don't unfortunately have a talent slot yet for my Plague Farmer, but the one that I'm gonna be getting as soon as I can unlock that is gonna be the Splashing Pumpkins for the increased range for his attack and his area splash damage attack. That seems to be by far the best talent to get, like, so he can really be that super crowd control, like taking out any kind of big horde that comes, while he can throw them from a greater distance while your Ghoul or Baron is blocking the enemy units in the front line. He can just rain destruction from behind. That's such a great. You could use someone else if you don't like him, but I just generally like. He's also really cheap, 2 gold cost unit. That's a really cheap one. Third one, Safe Pilot. This is, I would say, one of the best units in the game right now. It's almost in every build. Not in every build, but in very many builds. Unbound units are extremely great in PvP. They are extremely useful in PvE as well, to deny enemy gold, for example, or to snipe enemy units. And what makes Safe Pilot even better is once you get the talents, and I think the Gnomish cloaking device, which will make your Safe Pilot to go into stealth once she lands, essentially means she will be able to deal out 1 free range attack damage after landing. And normally she would probably die if she lands in the middle of a huge horde of enemies, but with the talent she will get that 1 free shot, and it does a huge damage because the ambush trait also increases the damage she does from stealth. So that's going to be doing a huge damage. It can also be used to kind of like, even just in PvP, just to snipe bosses if you don't have access to them easily. that will be just the initial crash and also the one free shot. That's a huge amount of damage to enemy bosses in most of the fights as well, if you are struggling to take out some PvE boss. Now, a lot of people play Necromancer, I know that, and that is an extremely good unit, but also I do like the skeleton body. I do like because they are unbound. I can contest chests with it, or I can send them to the front line quickly to strengthen my pushes, and I think the 5-man is the best talent for skeleton corpses, because skeleton party, because it will give you a more versatile party of skeletons, and the tank in front will be able to survive a little bit longer, giving your mages a little bit more time to attack from the behind. I don't really think the other ones are not that. They could be situational, but I strongly believe the 5-man is the best talent for this one, and at least I've been having a lot of success with this in both PvE and PvP fights. Now, one of my favorite units, which I currently use, I think pretty much in my all builds, is the Earth Elemental. Earth Elemental, another unbound. We have a lot of unbound units in this build. 3, so half of the units are actually unbound. Here's a tanky siege damage unit, which can be used to quickly take out towers in PvE and PvP, but also as a great distraction for your enemies, allowing your ranged units and your other fragile units to close in not only in Baron build, but in other builds as well. This is such a great... You could use Gwilbor as well. It's the same kind of unit, it's for the same purpose, but I do like Earth Elemental more. And with the Obsidian Shard talent, he will also like respawn as a 2 smaller elementals once he's dead, and that also gives you, well, more damage as from the elemental, but also more distraction for your enemies, so giving again more time for your other units to advance and deal free damage to enemies who are concentrating on that Earth Elemental, and that helps you in most fights. It helps you in PvP, but also in PvE you can win most of the boss fights just by dropping this behind the enemy boss or the enemy tower, and then just closing in and dealing free damage with your other units and just killing the boss completely. Just a great unit, one of my most favorite ones so far, absolutely. And the last one, we have Blizzard to increase this iciness of the build. I like the theme of icy skeletons and ice spells and like the chill of the grave, all of that. I do enjoy that, so that's why we have Blizzard in here. Again, unfortunately, I don't have the talent yet, but the Cold Snap is by far the best talent to choose first, because that will ensure that once you place the Blizzard on top of enemies, they will take the whole damage from the Blizzard spell, because they will be frozen in spot. Also, if you freeze a melee unit in spot and you can have ranged units attack him at the same time, you can deal another additional free damage as well. So that also kind of creates more value to the spell. So Cold Snap is the one I'm gonna be getting as soon as I can unlock the talent. There's not been these guys on the grid since the game was globally launched, so I'm just gonna have to wait until I get them. Hopefully sooner than later. I would love to hear how have you been enjoying the game in general and Baron Rivendare so far in the game, so please do leave a comment down below. I do recommend this video next to learn more about unbound units and gameplay tactics that will help you win fights more easily and conquer the world faster and with better success. Thank you very much for watching. Laku out.